Hello backpackers, this is Juan from Juan Backpacks, and I'm here to tell you about what I think about what I think about. I'm going to give you a review on the Gossamer Gear Kumo Fastpack. It's a 36-liter fast pack that I've used now for over 300 miles. I've used it a lot of those miles on training runs with 10 pounds of gear in it and actually trail running with it for probably close to 200 miles. And then the other miles to get me over 300, I did the Allegheny 100, which I only ended up doing 50 miles before I got hurt. Did not finish, but I definitely was out there for 50 miles using this pack with gear in it. And so I'll tell you about that. I also used it on the Crucible hike this year, which is a 70-mile through hike of the Laurel Highlands Trail that we did as a fundraiser for veterans organization. And that we did that in 2.5 days. And again, I carried probably close to 13 pounds of gear in this, and it did just great. And I'll tell you a little bit about that too. So the Kumo Fastpack by Gossamer Gear. Here's some stats on it. Like I said, it's a 36-liter pack. It has an internal storage in the pack of 28 liters. All the pockets. It's got a front pocket here, mesh front pocket. It's got mesh side pockets. It's got pockets, a running style vest strap with a lot of pockets here, mesh pockets here. And then it's got a minimalist hip belt that is removable. And it's got 2 pockets here. So that's where you get your total of 36 liters because there are 8 liters of other pockets on this thing. The pack itself weighs 20.7 ounces in a small medium, and that's the size that I use. They've got a great guidelines on the Gossamer Gear website to recommend the size pack that you need, and this is the pack that I needed. It's made of aerobic nylon, which is not waterproof. It definitely can soak up some water, so I think that's probably one of the things I'll talk about as a downside, but it's not necessarily a deal-breaking negative. And then the pack itself is said to be able to carry 25 pounds maximum load, 20 pounds for comfort. I've had this pack with probably around 13 to 14 pounds in it, and it was excellent at 13 to 14 pounds. So for me to believe that it could go to 20, I think it could do that. For it to go to 25, that's max, probably not comfortable. So I question whether I'd do that with this pack. I'd probably opt for a different pack, unless I was only going to be carrying 25 pounds for a condensed period of time till I got through an area without water and I ate off some of my food and get down back into that 15 pound, 10 to 15 pound range. Otherwise, I'd use a different pack. So let's talk about some of the features of the pack. And as I do that, I'm going to talk and relate that to some of my experiences with the pack as well. So here we go. The pack uses a fold-over lid. I like a roll top, but I found myself liking this fold-over lid. One of the reasons I could put a map in here, I like that. There's a little zipper side pocket. You wouldn't want to put anything bulky here. The other thing is, when I did the Allegheny 100, I did a really minimalist sleep setup and shelter. I did a 7-ounce tarp, a ground sheet, a 1/8 ounce foam that I rolled up and put underneath this flap, and it held it really nicely. And basically a summer sleeping bag, which was super light. And so the ability to put something, trap something underneath here was really nice. I also found that accessing it was pretty quick and easy, and so I like that a lot. You can see here, basically it's got another snap right here. You can separate that out. I didn't really find anything that I didn't like about this. I have had other packs that are larger with this type of a flap, and I didn't like them because for different reasons. But this one I do, because usually I'm using small form factor gear and light gear, and it just works pretty good. I don't have bulky gear that's going to fill up the pack and go crazy on me. The other thing that I liked about this pack that's here is this out mesh, the front mesh pocket. It's got this nylon here, which I felt like really protects the mesh from getting snagged and so forth when you set the pack down. I like that forethought of including this near the bottom. I think that was pretty ingenious. The other thing that I appreciated about this pack, and there's another feature of this pack, are the static, not stretchy, but static lines on both sides that you can cinch down and tighten up. I really like that because one of the ideas behind a Fastpack is that you can move quickly and you're going to be running, jogging, hiking really fast, and so your body obviously is going to be moving in different directions, and that pack's going to be moving around on your back, and so this static lines helps lock the gear in your backpack to kind of keep everything tight so you don't have gear shifting and flopping around in your pack while you're running. So I found that to be really, really useful. The other thing I found to be useful, mostly in transit, in times when I didn't want to use my trekking poles, is these little bungee trekking pole holders. There are two little bungee loops here. You can put your points of your trekking poles down in. Then you either trap them under the lid here, or like I did, I bought one of these Gossamer Gear bungee systems that I can just clip over the top of the trekking poles and secure them. I like that. It also has a ice axe loop that I didn't have a chance to use at any time now, but it's nice to know it's there, right? Ice axe loop. The side pockets are both mesh, and they have top load and they have side load. So you could literally put like a water bottle in through there or something like that and pull it out if you wanted to. I used one of the pockets for my shelter and my my stakes for my shelter, my tarp. And then the other pocket I used for some my water filter and stuff like that down in here, and some other things like my poop kit and stuff like that. I really like the fact that it had this sit pad, because I could use this on a break when I'm fast packing, but also it adds rigidity to the pack and just helps a lot in that arena, not having the pack kind of like flopping and bending around all the time. So that worked out really well. I think most useful part of this pack is the Fastpack part, where you've got these straps designed like a running vest. I really, really, really liked the running vest style backpack. This running vest style backpack has changed the way I look at bottle holders on my straps. I just found if you don't use too big of a bottle, that they're very useful. So the running style straps, they're wide, obviously. They've got some static straps here. I used this to clip my InReach Mini to, so that was perfect. I've got two water bottles in each side. When I was doing the Allegheny 100 and the Crucible, I literally had water filters on top of each one of these that I could just pick up the dirty water and just drink right out of the filter. And so I did that because I didn't want to stop and have to filter water. It's got a phone case here, a phone holder here. And so I was able to access my phone really quickly. And I even ran a cord for to listen to music out through this. As a matter of fact, the cord's still in there. There's a pocket here for some snacks to stuff down in here. And one of the things that I really liked, was the stash pocket here, this little side pocket. You could put the papers from the snacks you're eating and just stuff them in there. And then at the end of the day, when you stop, take a rest or a camp or whatever, you can go ahead and basically throw them away or put them in your trash bag inside your pack. The Fastpack also has a minimalist hip belt, which is removable. Now, this hip belt is not designed to carry load. It's basically designed to keep the pack tight to your body so that when you're running, it'll stay as part of your body and move with you. It does have two mesh pockets, which I really appreciated the mesh on these, because if it does rain, they're gonna dry out fast. Most pockets anyway aren't waterproof, even if they use waterproof zippers, because they've stitched them, and rain is eventually gonna seep in there. So I just like the fact that they just said, we're putting mesh on that, and if it gets wet, it gets wet, but at least it'll dry out fast. So I really like that attitude. And again, these are removable. You can actually connect both from either side here. And so I really like the mesh pockets because, again, I can put snacks in there and keep moving. So the beauty of this vest is that I could do everything I needed right off the vest here as I was moving. I was drinking water, I was grabbing snacks out of my pocket, eating them, and I was stuffing the papers into the little little stash pocket there. And so this really, honestly, just kept me moving as much as I wanted to. I really enjoyed that part of this pack. I think it was well designed. I didn't feel myself fighting this pack at any time and feeling like it was hindering my progress when I was doing the Allegheny 100 or when I was doing the Crucible hike for the 70 miles through hike of the Laurel Highlands Trail. I didn't feel like I was fighting this pack at all. Now, as far as the performance of fast packing, like running, backpacking really fast, one of the things that I really enjoyed about the Fast Kumo is that it did feel like it was part of my body. When I cinched down my belt, not tight, I just cinched it enough to be secure. When I tightened up the load, when I put this on my back and put the strap, the two sternum straps across here. These in particular were useful because I could adjust the top and bottom as needed to make them snug. And I felt like that was the two sternum straps here really made the pack kind of stick to me better. So that was another feature I think that helped the runability of the pack. And so when I was running with this in my training for about 200 miles of training with 10 pounds in it, I didn't feel like I was carrying anything. I didn't feel the weight flopping around on my back. It just stayed there. It didn't feel like anything. And when I was doing both the Allegheny 100 and I was doing the Crucible hike for the through hike of the 70 miles, at no point in time, even when I was pushing 13 to 14 pounds in this pack with water, food, and gear, I didn't feel like at any time that this pack was hindering my movement and my ability to move fast. As a matter of fact, I think it was just, it just felt so good on my back, and it just felt like it was part of me that I just didn't notice it was there, and it was more of a helper than a hindrance because of all the features in the running style kind of vest part here in the front. So I really, really enjoyed this pack. I, again, have used it like more minimalist wise with a tarp. When I was doing the Crucible hike, I had more traditional gear in there. I had, my summer gear, and I'm an ultralight backpacker, so my base weight is like 10 to 11 pounds anyway. So I had, minus food because they provided food for us. I had, sleeping pad. I had my Durston X-Mid in here. I had my sleep clothes. I had, camp shoes. I had, first aid kit, all those things you carry inside here. And it really, really worked out well. So, if I had to give a grade to this Kumo Fastpack, I'd have to give it an A. The only thing that I would say about the Kumo Fastpack that I would say is a concern to some extent, but not really, is the fact that the aerobic nylon can absorb water and is definitely not waterproof. And so with that, you're going to be carrying the weight of the water that soaks into the pack. That concerns me a little bit. It doesn't necessarily concern me from the standpoint of getting my gear wet inside, because I do use a pack liner anyway, because there are very few packs that are truly waterproof. Some are water resistant, some tape the seams, but eventually those seams are going to, they're going to fail. They're just going to fail. It's just the way it is. So I use a pack liner, but it's more about how this pack is going to react if it really is downpouring and it gets soaked. I'm just wondering or concerned or wondering about that piece, but I haven't had it in that scenario yet. I've had it in some rain, but not enough to really soak the pack. So I don't really know, how that's going to feel on my back. So again, the Kumo Fastpack, I got to give it an A. I really like it. I paid for this thing with my own money. I took a chance on it because it just came out. I was interested in fast packs. I could see this obviously being used for long distances where you're going to be moving so fast that you don't have to worry about carrying a lot of water because you can hit a lot of water sources, or you're moving so fast your resupply points are going to be closer together in terms of days. But I could also see this being used really easily because it's a 36-liter pack for summertime ultralight camping, just a weekend, 2, 3, 4 day trip, something like that. I could see being able to use this for a trip like that without much problem at all. So that's my review, my thoughts on the Kumo Fastpack. I think is a fantastic pack. I would recommend it to anybody interested in fast packing. It works for me. Everybody's different, obviously looking for different things, but this one definitely checked a lot of boxes for me, and it performed great for 300 plus miles. So there you go. That's my thought on Kumo Fastpack. So backpackers, get out there, do some backpacking, do some hiking, Stop watching YouTube videos. Unless they're mine, then watch them all from start to finish. Later, backpackers.